now let's see how we can play some sound. The easiest way to create sound in SuperCollider is to create a function which we wrap up with a method called play. Now, what is play? Play basically gonna do immediately this routing of the DAC, digital to analog converter. So if I wanted to hear the sine oscillator I did before, I need to use what I just said to connect it in a way and create a synth. This, by the way, creates a synth. And the most important thing in SuperCollider is how to stop sound. And how to stop sound is command period. We should establish that we all know where these buttons are in case we don't want to do something bad in our ears. So that means that every time I run this, evaluate this line, I can kill that in this way. That will, it's like, this is like the panic button in a system where everything shuts down. So let's see what I was doing before. So I was trying basically, now, oh yeah, let me cover this first. So every time you see I run this line, my SuperCollider assumes that I want to run a monophonic signal and start from the first channel of my motherboard. Now, why SuperCollider assumes that? Because it would be annoying SuperCollider not to assume that and just make a stereo audio output for you each time. So it's important that SuperCollider understands that I need to do one monophonic signal. So how do we make a how do we cover how do we make the same signal go into two outputs, which I have here? And by the way, this could be something where I could use in the studio, in the octaphonic studio, and sometimes I do. And this in the outputs, I could have an array of outputs. So it would be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, because it starts from 0. So now I have a stereo output on my server. So I have left, which is 0. It starts from the 0, and 1, which is the right channel. So if I don't define 2, then it will logically assumes that I want to start from my left. Now, if I want to have 2, which is 2 signals, identical oscillator, but has 2 outputs, then I would just create this. And then you see in my meters that I have 2 oscillators, one running with 220 frequency and 221. And actually, yeah. So the other important thing is that you need to maybe make sure that you are controlling the amplitude, which is the mul parameter every time. So that's going to be half. And maybe this is better. This is the amplitude. So here I have what we call multi-channel expansion. Basically, I have an array, yeah. The array, it provides the frequency data, setting my frequencies. So my left one, which is 0, will be 220, and the right one will be 202.1, slightly a unit more. So, and then I am constraining the amplitude of my sine oscillator to quarter of the nominal value, which is basically 1. So anything below that would be constraining the amplitude. And you can see in my meter how I can control that. Let me check something. So what did I do now? I said to my server, use this amount of this amount of output bus channels, which from 2, which was the default, I said make 8, and I rebooted. And then when I'm saying open a meter window, I see I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 channels. Can I hear them? No, because my audio interface is just only 2. But if I was in the studio and I had these physical channels, speakers, I would probably be able to listen to them. So that means that now, again, I'm listening only 2. I'm feeling only left and right. But if I feel more here, like this, then you can see how the output of my oscillator is feeding the outputs of my server, and in turn the sound output.